Jane, for that. And yeah, if I could just start as well by thanking Tom and the team for putting on such a great event throughout the week. There's been some really entertaining sessions that I've been dropped into. Explainability for AI was very entertaining with Austin Tanney and Andrew Bolster and so on. So if you can get watching that on demand, it's very, very insightful, as I say, very entertaining. But thank you so much for the opportunity to talk a wee bit then in more detail about the programmes going forward, and also just to say it's really great also to share this lot with Jane, our new commissioner. It has been a bit of a whirlwind the last 3 months working with Jane, and she's really helping us to focus on what our ambition is at the city level going forward. I'm just going to share very quickly a leaflet with you that we've put together and that will be shared with everyone after the event through Conla. And so don't worry if you can't see the detail on this. But I'm just using it just as a, I suppose, a memoir to go through some of the things that I want to talk to you about. So yes, Belfast is investing in urban innovation. And as I said, one of our key investments is in a digital commissioner, the first in Northern Ireland. And Jane is really helping us to see how we can pull together the strengths that we have in our city, how we can maximise those strengths and support our economy going forward, and at the same time bring about a real difference and better outcomes for our citizens. So we're investing in a commissioner, we're investing in a partnership. So key leaders in the city, as James already said, the council, Queen's, Ulster, Belfast Harbour, Catalyst and others have come together with a collective ambition to weave digital innovation into all aspects of our economy, our infrastructure, our urban and our healthcare services for, as I've said, the collective benefit of all of our citizens. We are investing through the Belfast Region City Deal in a whole range of centres of excellence being established by our universities, focusing on AI, focusing on IoT, on healthcare technologies, on screen and media and advanced manufacturing. And of course, we are investing in our digital infrastructure as well, because we need the digital infrastructure to do anything. And we're also investing in what we're calling an urban sandbox, where we would have a regulatory environment that would reduce the barriers for businesses to be able to innovate, to test and deploy some of their new products and services, and at the same time developing a Belfast sandbox for the ethical use of data and for sharing, and also to bring through the various routes to commercialisation of data products. And lastly, I'll talk very briefly as well about the development of a programme of challenges through a Belfast Challenge Fund, partly funded by the Belfast Region City Deal. And we're also really excited to be working with our partners in the Belfast Region City Deal with 5 other councils, not just to bring about transformation just in the city itself, but in the wider city region. And of course, this Challenge Fund will be shaped by the wider regional priorities. So the key thing I want to talk to you about is the Smart District. We've strategically selected 3 initial locations or 3 zones in the city that offer particularly rich environments for our innovation community to collaborate and research, for businesses to form and scale, for investments to flourish, and for the next generation of urban services to emerge. And collectively, we think that these locations represent a global showcase of our wider city ambitions. So an innovation district, this innovation district will be a community for creative innovation where entrepreneurs, innovators, startups, researchers and large enterprises can collide in a rich mixed-use, digitally connected waterfront environment. The Smart Core as well, this really is a unique opportunity for companies to try and help us to design, develop and implement innovative urban services in a supportive real-world environment, and one that offers an urban sandbox that reduces the complex barriers to real-life innovation or testing innovative solutions in real life scenarios. And of course, our smart port as well. So not just looking at logistics, smart port, green port, but also being able to support business startups and support commercial environment, residential environment, and really as part of this overall regulatory sandbox to be able to test and deploy 5G technologies, use of AR and VR, and looking at new and innovative integrated mobility solutions as well. So this whole area, again, I know you can't see much of the detail when you see the leaflet, hopefully you get a chance to read it all, but this area of the city centre and including the Titanic area right up inner north, this whole area that we are wanting to be able to set in place a 5G environment and where we can run challenges from our challenge fund using the challenge fund, but also in that area there is a huge investment already planned in terms of redevelopment and as I said, the centres of excellence and many other investments that are taking place there. And the idea is, how do we capitalise on that? How do we bake in technology into the very core and into the very foundations of these developments going forward to support you, the businesses, to be able to test and to deploy some of your technologies. And just to give you a bit of a, very quickly, a bit of a flavour of some of the programmes that we hope to be running in these particular areas. And just to say, for the past year and a half, we have engaged probably with many people who are listening here in the session today, but we've engaged with a lot, around 200 businesses. We've engaged a lot with our universities, and we've engaged quite a bit across public sector with our regulators, with our policymakers, to develop a whole range of programmes, some of which will be funded through the city deal, because that's given us a fantastic opportunity to make a real lasting difference. And other projects, more agile now and medium-term projects that are funded through Horizon 2020, Innovate UK, council investments and other investment sources. And just to mention one or two of those particular projects, one very exciting project is the Healthy Neighbourhoods and Smart Healthy Environment. And this is really looking at how we could, two things really, how we can look at developments coming forward, where we can choose a development that's come through our planning process so that we can set in place the foundations of the technology to support assisted living type projects and pilots, and how we can maybe test out keeping people safer in their homes and testing out the interaction between clinicians and people in their homes, maybe post surgery or in other scenarios. And really looking at how we can bring about more effective ways of citizens being able to interact with services, social and health services, and also more efficient ways and more efficient models of healthcare. And so there's been a lot of work talking to various different organisations around and different stakeholders and how we could actually set that. And that's sort of a longer term project, but we're looking at how we can look at those future planning and developments. And at the same time, we're currently trying to identify current area and cohort of people and be involved in these sorts of projects, and where we can retrofit technology to do that. The second area that I'd like to mention is something that has become really important now post-COVID, and it's in relation to mobility in the city. And it's always been something that's been really important to the city and the master planning, the planning around all of that. But the Smart District for us provides that rich opportunity to be able to, in a very controlled way, use lots of different technologies to pull together existing data sources, to run IoT competitions and challenges, and to harvest real-time information as well, and to be able to put that together in a model that helps us make better infrastructure investment decisions and better policies, and to help our programs around try to move people onto more active travel using bicycles, walking, public transport, and so on. but also to be able to open this data up to businesses as well, to be able to innovate and come up with new products and services. And of course, to be able to equip citizens with information about their own carbon footprint and the decisions that they can make around mobility. One of the other areas then that we're looking at, one of the other areas that we're looking at is in relation to energy transition. So Northern Ireland has enviable levels of installed renewable energy generation, particularly from wind. And we have the potential for much more. So our challenge is in transmission and storage and in better energy management. So we've got the opportunity in the district to test and scale new technologies, including district scale hydrogen networks. And so we have a whole programme now starting to develop around all of that. The last one I will just quickly mention, starting to run out of time, is reimagining the high street. So more and more people are shopping online. Of course, with the COVID crisis, that has really accelerated that. And so we really need to look at what will attract people into our cities, what will attract them in to live to our cities, to work in our cities. And we have to think differently about the services we provide, how we provide a frictionless way in which people can move around the city and transact within our city as well. So we have a programme as well developing around how we would encourage the creative entrepreneurs and digital experts within our city to start to think of new and better ways that we can do that. We can develop new rich experiences using technology. And so that's just a quick sort of high level of just some of the key programmes that are in development. And many of you listening have probably been engaged in conversations about some of these things. We're really, really excited going forward about the opportunity. And some of our projects, they are long term. You know, they do require a lot of deep shoveling and getting the sleeves rolled up and talking 3-5 years off. But we also have an agile, quick turnaround programme as well that we want to run alongside that particular programme. So thank you so much for listening. Really interested to hear from anyone who wants to contact us about how they could potentially be involved in any of our programmes. We'll get this leaflet out as well through Conla. And thank you.